Hello scholars, today we'll be treating crop propagation. Okay, so let's take a look at the topic outline. We have the meaning and methods of crop propagation, the advantages and disadvantages of the methods of propagation, methods of asexual propagation. Now let's go into the topic properly. Crop propagation is the process of creating new plants from a variety of sources. In other words, it is the multiplication of crop population for a continued existence of crop species. It simply means planting or sowing. So crop propagation is when you plant crops and they reproduce. There are basically two methods of crop propagation. We have the sexual or seed propagation and the asexual or vegetative propagation. So now let's discuss the sexual propagation. Sexual propagation is also known as seed propagation. This method makes use of seed. It is common with both self-pollinated and cross-pollinated plants. Okay, sexual propagation might be the only way to plant some crops. Example, your groundnuts, your beans, your maize, tomatoes. Now let's take examples of crops that are propagated by seed. We have your cocoa, we have tomatoes, we have mango, we have cashew. Did I hear guava? That's right. We also have oil palm, we have okra, we have rice. Okay. Now the advantages of seed propagation. One, it is very easy to practice. You don't need any skill. You just open up the ground and put the seed. It brings out easy multiplication of plant population. It is a sure way to start a disease-free crop, and well-stored seed can remain viable for a long time, which means well-stored seed can remain very good for a long time without going bad. Now the disadvantages. Remember, what always have advantage has disadvantages. Some crops take a long time to mature and fruit when planted by seed. Example, your orange. Some seed are lost in the soil during propagation because of termites and rats, etc. It is difficult to grow crops that are seedless with this method. Now let's move to asexual propagation. It is also known as vegetative propagation. This involves the use of parts of a plant in multiplying or growing the plant. It simply means using parts of a plant to create new plants from that same particular plant. Examples of part plants to use: you can use the stem, you can use the leaves, you can use the suckers instead of using the seeds. Now the advantages of asexual propagation. It enables crops to produce in a very short period of time. Plants propagated vegetatively have uniform growth rates. Okay, they can also withstand more adverse environmental conditions such as a poor soil. Number 4, plants that do not have seed can be propagated by this method. And number 5, many ornamental plants are easily grown with these methods. Now to the disadvantages. Number 1, it is sometimes very laborious because planting materials are bulky. Like your suckers, is very heavy to carry them. Diseases are easily transferred from parents to offspring. Then number 3, vegetative parts of plants cannot be stored for a long period of time, unlike your seed that can stay for very long periods of time. Now let's move to the methods of asexual propagation. We have budding, we have marcoting, we have layering, we have grafting, and others. Alright scholars, the next video you want to watch is on budding, so sit down and learn more.
Discuss them one after the other, but in this lesson I will state them, then I will be discussing just one in this lesson. The first one is budding. Budding is the bringing together of the bud and the stalk. There are two ways of doing this. There is patch budding and there is a T-cut budding. I will demonstrate the two in this lesson. The budding of a plant using the T-cut method is done by making a T shape on the stalk plant. That is the plant that still has its roots attached to it. You open up gently to expose the cambium, that is the wooden part of the plant. And then you cut a bud from another plant that you hope to graft together with the stalk. This bud is then inserted into that opening. Ensure it is in good contact with the wooden parts and you cover up with the flesh of the stalk plant. Arrange it well and then you tie it together using either a grafting tape or a good cellophane paper. When it is tied properly, it is left for some period of time. It can be up to a month or so. Now after 1 month, the plant will be seen sprouting if the budding process is carried out properly. After a month, the bud will be seen sprouting if it is carried out properly. Using the patch method, a cut is made on the stalk plant. This time around, it's not a T-cut. A patch is cut out of it, and then the bud that is to be placed in that position is cut within the size of the patch that was cut out of the stalk. You get a nice bud that can grow well on that patch, and you cut using a budding knife. You trim it appropriately so that it can fit in properly into the patch that is provided in the stalk plant. You insert it, ensure it fits in properly, and then you tie with either a grafting tape or a cellophane elastic material. Exclude air totally, that is, ensure it is well tied and air does not get in. If it is properly done, you leave it out for some period of time, and after some time, if it is well done, it is well carried out, after a period of 5 days or more, you can loosen a bit the point of the bud to allow it outgrowth, and after a month, if it is well done, the bud should be seen growing properly.
Welcome scholars, hope you have learned how the T-cut and the patch method budding is done. Feel free to ask any questions concerning this topic that you don't understand, and don't forget to attempt the questions on your content pages and quizzes. Till our next lesson, remain safe. Bye.